there passengers, my name is Husselbeh and I will be your host for today on the Gaming Express. So I've got something a bit different today. This is Minecraft, as you can see before you, and behind me is a little pixel art of the very famous Spyro the Dragon. Anyway, myself and Richo have been playing a bit of Minecraft just in creative, making random things that we wanted to, and I started getting into a bit of pixel art. I wanted to make a Spyro, but I couldn't find a decent tutorial online other than a speed art that was just insanely fast and impossible to follow. So I decided that to help people out, I'm going to, now I've persevered and actually made Spyro, and he looks pretty good in my opinion, I'm going to do my own tutorial, a step-by-step guide of how to do a pixel art of Spyro the Dragon in Minecraft. Right, so here we are, we're on a super flat world. And I've just broken a block. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we'll go over here just to make it easy. It's a super flat world, and we're going to start with doing at least a few of Spyro's legs and feet. So the blocks you will need for this are as follows. We need a purple wall. We also need blue stained clay. We want a black wall. A normal white wall, and that will do us for now. Okay, so I'm going to be starting from the back foot, so we'll have the back foot here, the tail over this side, and the other feet, legs, and his head over this side. Okay, so what you want to be doing first is 3 black wall blocks and 1 white block. And on top of this white block that we just placed, go up with 2 black wool, and to the right of this bottom black wool we want 2 more black wool, with a white wool there, black wool on top, and a black wool on the other side. Then you want to do an up left diagonal with another black wool at the side there. Okay, so once you've got a shape like this, we can move on to the next part. So we want another up left diagonal, and we want to go up by a further 2 black wool blocks, and to the right of this top black wool block we want 2 more black wool blocks. From this corner block here, do another up left diagonal with a black wool block on top. Back down to the bottom, and from this black wool block here, up left diagonal with a black block on the side, another up left diagonal with 2 more black wool blocks on top, then an upright diagonal, another upright diagonal with another black wool on top, another upright diagonal with another black wool on top, and then come over 1, 2 and 3 more black wool. Okay, so this is the basic outline of his first foot that we are going to do. Okay, so now you want to get your purple wool, and these 3 spaces just here, we want to fill those in. Also these 2 here, and this one here, 2 more just here, 2 more, and here, and here. And then with the blue stained clay, we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we can just fill the rest of this in now with purple wool. Right. So there we go. That is his first foot that we are going to do now. So what we want to be doing from here is we're going to move on to the foot that is on the other side of his body. So from here, what we want to be doing now is from this black wool here, and upright diagonal with 2 more black wool at the side, and then from this last black wool that we just placed, we want 3 more black wool going down with a bottom right diagonal, and 1 more bottom right diagonal with another black wool just there. And on top of this last black wool we want 3 more black wool with another upright diagonal with a black wall on top, another upright diagonal with a black wall on top, one to the left of this and one to the right with 2 wool on top. Then if we go from this side of the cross that we've just made and we do a bottom left diagonal and go across by 2. Okay, so what we've got here, this is just the part that we can see of his back left foot. So all we're going to do with this part now is fill it all in with blue stained clay. Okay, right, so what we can do as well is, as we're going along, we can fill all of this in with the purple wool that we've got, including this full row just here. Right, and now we'll move on to his front right leg. So from this bottom right corner just here, get out your black wool and do another bottom right diagonal and connect that to the ground with a white wool next to that, a black wool and a upright black wool diagonal, another black wool there, another upright diagonal with a black wool, then a white wool, 2 more black and another white. On top of this last white one, we want a black wool, then do an up left diagonal, another up left diagonal, and then we should have something that looks a little bit like this. If you've got this shape, then we can continue on. So do 2 more blocks, delete this middle, 1 more, and an up left diagonal with a black wool on top and an upright diagonal, another one and another one. Okay, so now we've got more or less the basic shape of this. Let's just go up here just to finish the leg off, do an upright diagonal on the cross with a black wool on top. Okay, so to fill this one in, where we've got what look like these little stairs just here, in line with the top block, we want to put a blue stained clay just here, and then from this blue stained clay do an up left diagonal like that. And then from this one here that's sticking out all on its lonesome, we want one just on top there and an upright diagonal of that. Yeah, so from here we can fill this all in again with purple wool. Right, so that's 3 of the legs and feet done already. So what we want to do from here is we're going to go right over with black wool. From this point we want to go 1 and with 1 on top. Then we want to do 3 more, 1, 2, 3. Then we want a bottom right diagonal, another bottom right diagonal with a block on the bottom and a block on the left of this one, and we want to go down by a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just so it's easier to build, place 2 purple blocks like this. Get your black wool again, 1 on the bottom of there and another one on the right, and on the ground we want 2 more black, a white with a black wool on top, 2 black wool, a white wool on the side of this with another black wool on top, 2 black wool, 2 white wool and a black wool just there. Okay, so once you've got this, we can continue from this block just here, this black wool block. We want an up left diagonal with 2 more blocks just here, another up left diagonal, another up left diagonal with a block on top. So as you can see, here we go with the ankle again. So let's just fill this one in for now. So 2 purple wool, purple wool here, here, here and here, here and here, and we want our blue stained clay, 1 here, here and here, and then we can just go ahead and fill the rest in with purple wool. Okay, so if you've got something like this, then we can continue on to finish the rest of his leg. Right, so from here, what you want to do is cover the top of this row with purple wool and a black wool on the end, and you want to go up from this black wool by a further 2 with an upright diagonal with 1 on top and another upright diagonal. Okay, so from here what we want to be doing is this row again in purple, then from the middle block just here of this purple row we want to be going 3 across, then up again the middle one of these 3 here we want another 3, up again we want just 1 and 1 there. Okay, so now if you've got something like this, we are well on our way. Let's just try and make this all at the same level. Don't break a block like I just did there. Just filled this in here with purple wool. Okay, so we should be at this point now. So what we'll do now is Spyros Stomach. Okay, so what you'll need for this one is some sandstone, or you can use sand, whichever you prefer. I just like the smooth sandstone because it gives him sort of a scale look like a dragon should have. So what we want to do first is just get popping this line of sandstone just here with 1 on top of each of these purple blocks with a black wool just there. So on top of this we want to go a further 7 black wool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we want an up left diagonal with a further 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a black wool to the left. At the side of this black wool here we put a sandstone, or whichever one you're using, and we can bring that straight down. Now we can fill the rest of this in as well. So we should now have something that looks a little bit like this. So let's go back down to the bottom where we first placed this first bit of sandstone, and to the left of this sandstone, this black block, we want an upright diagonal on top of this last sandstone block just here. Then we want 1 more upright diagonal with a black block on top. So keep your purple wool, and we want another further 2 purple wool on top, with a blue stained clay to the right, and a purple wool with a purple wool on top, and another purple wool to the right of this, and further 1 on top, 1 to the right, and another on top, and connect it to the sandstone. Okay, so now this has got the outline of the whole of his stomach. So we can just go ahead and fill all of this in with sandstone. Okay, so there is one more tiny part, which I think is another part of his stomach that we can see through his legs, and that's just 1, 2 sandstone blocks just there next to the cross. Okay, so now we should have something that looks a little bit like this. And if we do, we shall move on to the tail. Okay, so we should be at this point now. This is now the finished legs, feet and stomach of Spyro the Dragon. So what we're going to do now is the tail. It's quite a simple part again, similar to the belly. And we want to be going straight into this back foot where we have these black wool blocks. First, we can correct a mistake I made earlier and delete these 2 blocks here and replace them with blue stained clay. And on top of these 4 black wool blocks, you want your purple wool straight over the top like that, and get out your black wool and do a bottom left diagonal. And now from this bottom left diagonal that we've done, we want to go a further 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From this very last block, we want an up left diagonal with a block on top, another up left diagonal with a block on the left. And let's build 2 blocks up like this, and 1 to the side, and delete this middle block. We can then put another block just here with 2 more black wool on top, and up left diagonal, and another up left diagonal with 1 more up left diagonal. Then from this very top block here, we want to do a bottom left diagonal, and we want to go down by a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this connects the end part of the tail. Okay, so from here, this block just here at the bottom corner, we want to do a bottom right diagonal with black wool, and then follow this on for a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we should have something that looks a little bit like this. The tail is nicely coming together here. So from this end black wool block here, we want a top right diagonal, followed by an extra 2, another top right diagonal, followed by an extra 1, another top right diagonal with an extra 1. Then we want a top right diagonal, another top right diagonal, and that is more or less the tail done. So now we just need to fill this bit in, and we can go straight up from here and fill all of this part in with purple wool, including this one here. Okay, so leave this part open. So what we need now for this part is yellow wool. Okay, so just literally fill all of this little extra bit on his tail in with the yellow wool. Okay, so now we're starting to get a little bit of a Spyro going on here. We've got his tail done, well, most of his tail done, and his stomach done, and his legs and feet. Okay, so let's go ahead with the next part and do his head. Okay, so we're going to move on to Spyro's head. This includes his horns and his little yellow spikes on top. So what you're going to need for this one is retain the yellow wool that we used on the bit of the tail. We're going to need the black, the blue stained clay, the purple wool, and we're also going to need some brown wool, orange wool, and hardened clay. Okay, so if we go right down to this part just here, where we've moved in with the black wool, take out your black wool again, miss one, and put a black wool just there. Then we want an upright diagonal, another one, and another one, and then we can put one on top and one to the right of that, and connect this together. So this part just here, we can fill that in nicely with orange wool. Okay, so once you've got something looking a little bit like this, we can continue. So from here, we want to do a bottom left diagonal with our black wool. Then we want to follow it on with a further 4 black wool. 1, 2, 3, and 4, with 2 black wool on top, 1 to the right of this middle one, and 1 on top of that. To the left of this block we've just done, we want 3 more black wool. 1, 2, 3. And to the right of this, another 3. So from this end block, we want to go upright diagonal with another upright diagonal, and then we can go up by a further 3. So on this top block, put 1 to the right and 1 just below it, and from this one that we placed at the top, do a top left diagonal. Then follow on from this with a further 4 black wool blocks. Okay, from this end one we want to plant one on top and do a top left diagonal with 3 more black wool blocks on top and 1 to the left. Then we want to do an upright diagonal with 1 on the top and another one with 1 on the top and another one with 2 on the top. Then we want an up left diagonal, a bottom left diagonal, another bottom left diagonal, and we want to put 1 on the bottom, 1 on the left of that, and do another bottom left diagonal. Then we want a top left diagonal with a black wool on top, another top left diagonal, and we want to go up by a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want another up left diagonal with a block on top, and another up left diagonal with another block on top, and 1 more up left diagonal with a block to the left, 1 more up left diagonal, and then we want to come back down to this block just here. Bring it down by a further 1, 2, 3 black wool blocks with a bottom left diagonal and a bottom right diagonal. Then from here we can plant 1 underneath, 1 on the left, and from this one just here bring it down by a further 3. 1, 2 and 3. From this block just here, put 1 on the right and bring it down by 1 and 2. Then from this just here, another 2 going left. Then we want an up left diagonal, another up left diagonal, and 1 more with a further 2 black wool blocks to the left. Then we want to have a bottom left diagonal and a bottom right diagonal coming off this block with a block to the right and 2 more bottom right diagonals. Okay, so we should have something that's starting to resemble Spyro's head. Okay, so if we go back up to this part that we just finished and to this block all on its lonesome just here, and we do a top left diagonal followed by a further 3 blocks, another top left diagonal with an extra 2 blocks, another top left diagonal with 1 block here and 1 below just here, 1 more top left diagonal with a block on top. So from this block just here we want a bottom right diagonal and 1 more bottom right diagonal with a block on the right, 2 more bottom right diagonals with 2 blocks on the right side of this and 1 more bottom right diagonal. So from here we want to place 2 blocks and delete this middle one. Then place another just here and 1 on the left as well with an up left diagonal followed by a further 3 blocks. Then we want a bottom left diagonal again with an extra block and 1 more bottom left diagonal. So we should now have something that looks a little bit like this, slowly progressing. So back over to these 2 blocks just here, and we want a bottom right diagonal from this one. And from here, 1 more bottom right diagonal with a block on the right, and 1 more bottom right diagonal with a block on the bottom, 1 block to the right, and then 2 blocks to the left. From this end block just here, we want a bottom left diagonal with 2 blocks on the bottom, a block to the left and a further 2 blocks to the right. And from here we want another bottom right diagonal with a block on the right, and beneath these 2 bring them both down by a further 2. Okay, so that's more or less the outline for the head. I won't go any further going across this way, as it will bring us onto the wings. So if we start filling this in a little bit, let's start from here, just so we can cut off the head a little bit. Let's go down to this sandstone block, get your blue stained clay, and bring it over by 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you want to put one on the bottom just here, and then up a level, and we go all the way across, including on top of the sandstone this time. Then just 4 here, then 3, then 2, another 2, and a 3. Then from this block here we want an upright diagonal, and 1 block just here. Okay, so now this bit's almost cornered off. Let's go to our yellow wall, and we want 2 yellow wool, 2 more yellow wool, and 1 to the side just here. And then the orange wool, we want 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's that bit just there completed. And now what we want to be doing is we can go to this part here and get your yellow wool again, and all across this top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Further 2, and the 1 there. And then what we want to be doing is a orange wool, 1, 2, and 3. And then bring it out and do another 1, 2, and 3. So we should have something that looks a little bit like this so far. So on top of this orange wool, you want to get your brown wool. Place 1 just there, 2 at the side just here. Then we want a bottom right diagonal of brown wool, another bottom right diagonal with 1 on the right hand side. Then we want a top right diagonal with a further top right diagonal with 1 on the top. Then just connect it all up with a top left diagonal. So as you can see, that is going to be Spyro's horn. So to do this, this is where we need the terracotta colour with the hardened clay. So just fill all of this horn in with the hardened clay. If you're on PC, try not to press space too quickly, because otherwise you'll start to fall down exactly like I did, and as I did several times while trying to make it the first time. Okay, so now we've done that, we should have something that looks a little bit like this. Okay, so if we go back up here to the horn that we just did, and we go to our yellow wool, we can fill this bit in just here, and bring yellow wool all the way down till we get this first brown block. And from this first brown block, we can bring it all the way over and connect it to this black block, and then we can fill this in a little bit. So we can fill it all the way up to here, and then we just want 1 there and fill the rest in with the hardened clay. Okay, so we should have something that looks a little bit like this, slowly coming together again. And we want to bring out our blue stained clay, and we can bring that over from this brown wall just here by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So come back to our yellow wool, and we can place 2 yellow just here, a yellow beneath, a yellow to the right, and bring this all the way down to here now. So all of this part just here we can fill again with our yellow wool. So again, progressing little by little, we should have something that looks like this. So that's all of his spikes on his head and his horns all done. So it's just filling in the face that we've got to do now, other than we have a little bit of orange wool just to put 1 here, and 1, 2, and 3. So that is now his spikes done. So let's bring it down to this part here, where we've got his little spike thingies here. And we want to get our standard purple wool and just fill in this little part of his mouth just there. And on top of that, get your blue stained clay and do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if we go over to this part, the furthest right part of the full build, which I'd say is part of his nose. And then if we want to come right over to this little L shape just here, and go onto the black wall, bring it down 1 and 2, delete this middle one, put one just there, and those are his nostrils. So then we want a white wall just here. That's not white wall, that's sandstone. So I'll get a white wall back out again. Alright, so we want white wall just there, and blue stained clay, we want 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can go back to our white wall, and we'll start doing his eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4 further white wall. And then on these end two, we want to bring those both up by a further 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we get our black wall again, and do 1, 2, and bring this one up by a further 2, with 1 on the right there, and fill in this slot with a white wall. So we should have something like this. You can now see that it's starting to resemble a Spyro, and we can fill the rest of these slots in with our purple wool. Okay, so once you've filled all that in, you should have something that looks exactly like this. So we've done Spyro's head, we've done his chest, we've done his legs and his tail. So all that's left to do now are two things: his wings and his main part of his body. Okay, so what we'll work on to do next is the wings, as the main part of the body is just purple anyway, so it's pretty simple just to fill that in after we've defined all the other parts. So we'll move now on to the wings. Okay, so we should have this if you are now at this part. So we've done the head, the chest, the legs and the tail, and we're now moving on to the wings. So what we want to do from this part is this big black block that you can see just here. It's got 6 black blocks altogether. We want to come to this part here, and from the middle block of these 6 we want to bring it out by a further 1, 2 and 3. Then we can go from this bottom block here and do a bottom left diagonal with 2 bottom right diagonals to connect it to his neck. There we go. Right, back up to here, and we will do a bottom left diagonal with a further 2 and 1 on the bottom of there. And then we want a bottom right diagonal with a block on the bottom. And then we want a bottom right diagonal and further 2 more bottom right diagonals, with the last one having a black wall on the bottom. Okay, so that bit just there is more or less the shape of his wing on the other side that we can't see properly. And it's also and this part here is the starting of the outline for the wing that we can see. Okay. So from this corner block just here, we want 3 top left diagonals. 1, 2, 3. And from this block just here, we want to go left by a further 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want a bottom left diagonal with a further 4 black wall blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another bottom left diagonal with a further 2 blocks. Another bottom left diagonal with another 1 block, and we want 2 more of these going down, so bottom left diagonal with 1 block and another bottom left diagonal with 1 block, and then we just want a bottom left diagonal on its own, a bottom right diagonal with a further 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So far with the wings we should have something that looks a little bit like this. So from where we were on this block, we want to go with a bottom right diagonal with a further 2 and 1 more bottom right diagonal. From here we want to come down by 2, delete the middle block, down by another 2, put 1 in the middle and delete that middle block again. So from here, this is where we can start defining the colours of his wings. So get your blue stained clay, and we want 1, 2 and 3 just there. Do apologise, 1, 2 and 3 just there on that middle part, okay? And then on top of this you want your yellow wall, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And this is where things get a bit complicated, because for whatever reason the wings seem to have the most colour in them throughout. So before we get started with colouring it in, I'll show you what we need. So we can get rid of our sandstone, our brown wool, we can get rid of our terracotta and our white. So if we keep all of these things, so we want the yellow, we want the orange, and we also want a pink wall. We want to go down to the clay, and we want magenta, and we want a pink. So the main ones that we're going to have here are the yellow wall, the magenta stained clay, and the pink stained clay, with a little bit of the orange wall and a few bits of the pink wall. Okay, so if we go right over to this side, then we want our yellow wall, and we want to do 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, with a further 5 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a further 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, with a further 5 on top again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we want a further 9 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this little part here, we can fill all of this in with the yellow wool. We want to skip this one just here, put a yellow wool just there and just here. Then from this block here we can continue to go down like this, and down again, and really just follow the edge of this black wall just here, and we keep going down like that. Okay, so from this one here we can have an extra 1 just there. So we should have something that looks a little bit like this. Going down here, put another 2 there with an extra 1 just there. So we should have something that looks a little bit like this. So continuing with the yellow wool, from this block here we want a bottom left diagonal, and we want a further 5 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that connects us right up to this black part here, and we just want to plant another yellow wall just there. So back up to here where we were before, and we can fill all of this little bit just here. 1, 2, 3. This top one just here. 1, 2, and 3. And we can really fill all of it in down to about here. So then fill all of this bit in with the yellow wool. And this is where we've got a bit of detail with our orange wool. So if we come down with 1 yellow there and 2 yellow there, get out the orange wool, and we want to bring 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 1 at the bottom, with 2 filling this space just here. Okay, so we should now have something that looks a bit like this. Staying with the orange wool, we'll go back up here, fill in this spot just here, with the bottom left right diagonal just here, 2 more going down, missing 1, and going just here, bottom right, 2 more, and another bottom right, with 1 right here on the bottom. So that's all the orange that we need for this one, all of the yellow that we need for this one. So now we move on to our clay. So the pink stained clay is used for the darker areas that I'm guessing are meant to be like shadows in it, and this is meant for the main part of it. Okay, so if we start off with this bit and we go up to here, and we want to come all the way across with our pink clay, and again come across here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so and then underneath these bottom left diagonals of yellow we want 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just here plant another one. Then we go down to here, put a further 2 with another one connecting to the yellow, with 1 to the left of that and 2 more to the right of that, with a bottom right diagonal, followed by a further 2 and 1 to the right, and followed by a further 2 with a top right diagonal, followed by a further 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we should now have something like this. So that is all of the pink clay done, so we can fill the rest of this in, almost. We just need a pink wall, 1, 2 and 3 with a top right diagonal. Okay, so now the rest of this is done, we just need to fill it in with our magenta stained clay. Okay, so as you can see, we've more or less got our full Spyro going here. So all we've got to do really from this point is just use our blue stained clay to define a few shadows on the body, and then the rest of it is just filling it in with the pink wool. Okay, so we should now be at this part. We've just got the body to do and a few extra little tiny details that we'll do at the end on the tail. So what we'll do first is we'll just use our blue stained clay and our black wool to do the outside edges and the defining details of the body, so we can just go ahead and fill it all in with the purple wool at the end. Okay, so if we come over to this dark shadow patch here, and we want to plant a blue stained clay just here, and 1 just here, and 2 more just there. So that's that part done just there. And we want to come back over to here to the bottom part of the wing, and where this is we want a bottom right diagonal with a 1 on the right, then a bottom left diagonal, and we want to have 1 on the bottom of that with a bottom left diagonal, with 2 more on the bottom of that, and 1 bottom left diagonal with 1 on the bottom, and another one of these connecting it to the purple. So that's pretty much all of it done, other than we have to put 2 on top of here and do a top left diagonal from this black one, and that's pretty much it. So we could fill all of that in with purple wool should I say. So we'll go ahead and finish off the outline for the body now, and we just want to do bottom right diagonals so that these two join up. 3, 4 and 5 bottom left diagonals or top right diagonals, depending where you go from. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. So what I'll do is I'll fill all of this part in with purple wool now, and you should pause the video and do the same, and I'll show you what we've got to do for the last defining details. Okay, so that is pretty much our Spyro done. All we've got to do now is just get our yellow wool, go up to here where we've just finished off really, and starting from this point here, we want 1 just here, 1 just here, 1 just here, another one just here, and here, 1 more here, and then we just want to space out 3 on here. So that is it, guys. That is our Spyro the Dragon in 8-bit pixel art, fully completed. As you can see, I really like this design. I'm so glad that I managed to follow it, and hopefully with this tutorial you guys have been able to follow it a little easier than I was. and I can tell just by the length of this tutorial already that it was much quicker than it was when I was trying to follow it before, as it must have took me a good couple of hours to try and sort through it all and realise what this guy was on about with how fast he was going. But it looks great. One thing I do love about pixel art, you can look at it from both sides, so you kind of get two lots of amazement. It's like, oh, he's running one way, oh no, he's running the other way. Oh, it's fantastic. So I do really like this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I've been able to help with this tutorial for Spyro the Dragon. And if you would like other pixel art in the future, then guys, please do ask, and I will surely do some for you. This includes other tutorials such as some houses that I can build and other things like that, and I will gladly show you how to do that. But as for now, we have reached our destination. Hopefully you enjoyed the journey, and I would like to thank you all once again for boarding the Gaming Express. Goodbye.